may wonder why I bring up the subject of breathing so frequently. As a nurse, I have a great concern about people living longer, having more calmness in their mind, having a greater sense of control. And the number one thing that you can do to lengthen your life and get control over your emotions is to learn how to breathe well. If you can get that practice into your life, your physical health will change. It's the number one thing that you can do. So I want to remind you that poor breathing skills can make you sick, and good breathing skills can make you healthier. So think back to these times when you have used different kinds of breathing in your activities. We breathe differently for swimming. We breathe differently for running. We breathe differently for singing. We breathe differently when we're in pain. We breathe differently when we're in meditation. We breathe differently when we're crying or have grief. So that might help you to see that breathing is not just one sort of function. As a matter of fact, functional breathing volume is the marker of how long your life will be. As a registered nurse, I had to examine 30,000 charts over the last 20 years, so I'm a assessment specialist. And one thing that I noticed that was very, very common, actually the most common breathing diagnosis for people over 50 was called atelectasis. So of course I had to look that up and find out what is atelectasis. It's simply shallow breathing. Is almost a natural thing for adults. Children breathe differently. They use the diaphragm. But as we age, and it's even into, after we're less active, late 20s and after that, we stop utilizing the diaphragm to breathe. And that's the cause of our lungs kind of shrinking, having less capacity for breath, and causing this atelectasis, which it stops the maximum amount of oxygenation to the brain and all of our parts of our body. It's much harder for the blood to get to the fingers and the toes, as our hearts weaken when we age. So practicing breathing would be the number one thing that you could do to start improving your health. And it's not that hard, right? If you put your mind to it and you get instructions, you can improve your breathing. And that's what I hope to do here. I'm going to be showing you 4 breathing techniques. But I also want to mention that it's not just a huge variety of activities that we use breathing for, but we are actually using breathing techniques in the healthcare environment for situations such as asthma and COPD. We use a special type of breathing for labor and delivery. We use a little breathing machine. It's not a machine, but it's a device called the incentive spirometer right after surgery to help people recover from having that anesthesia and from being, a lot of times it's heart surgery or something that cuts into the area where you're going to try to retract and not breathe so much. It's going to be very guarded. So I'm going to show you the number one thing you can do for your health and wellness, and that is 4 techniques of breathing. And I would use these every day if I were trying to increase my volume and improve the length of my life. These types of breathing are deep belly breathing, alternate nostril breathing, the relaxation breathing, and huff puff breathing or fire belly breathing. So I'm going to show you the mechanics of these 4 breathing techniques. Number 1, the deep belly breathing. The object of breathing this way is to breathe in through your nose and let the air go as far down as you can. You're targeting the belly. So breath and air doesn't just stay in your lungs, because our lungs are perfusive. They let air come in and out. You could actually breathe all the way into your legs. I mean, if you have a strong enough volume. We've used this deep belly breathing technique for lower back pain. And who, doesn't have lower back pain when we get a little bit older? So you're going to breathe in and with targeting the belly first and fill it up until you feel the belly expand. And then exhale through the mouth with as much emphasis as you did on the breathing in. And if you do that 3 times, there's an added benefit. Breathing 3 times will actually shift your vibration, your energy, and allow you to relax. So it's a great technique to use when you have a lot of stress. If you use this when you have a lot of stress, you're going to change the dynamics of the stress response, which can cause damage. So again, we're going to breathe in through the nose, targeting the belly first. Till it's full, then out through the mouth until you feel the chest depress. Now the second method is called alternate nostril breathing. Now why would they come up with that? Is that just, kind of something weird to throw in there? No. This is particularly good when you're waking up in the middle of the night or when you've just woken up, because naturally we only really breathe through one nostril at a time. And one of them is more closed off than the other. So the problem with that, especially when we're sleeping, is because we can't regulate it consciously. We're not really aware of our breathing. We're breathing automatically, but it cuts off one side of the brain's oxygen. So if you have, get foggier thinking when you wake up in the morning, that is because you haven't been breathing properly. So the point of the alternate breathing is to kind of force the other side to take the oxygen in. And so you don't have to do it many, many times, but the idea is you breathe in on one side and out on the other side and in on that side again and out on the other side. So here we go. We're going to breathe in. You can hear that that's the side that's kind of closed off. And then in on that side. And out through the other side. And in on that side. And out on the other side. And in. And out. Now, I do this regularly if I wake up in the middle of the night, because I'm getting up there in age and I really want to make sure that my brain is getting enough oxygen. And I have discovered that sometimes it takes me up to 20 times doing that in order for it to open everything up. But you definitely feel so much better. You can feel it right away that you're getting more oxygen. And I think it's a great protective breathing for helping you maintain that lung capacity. You can feel the tension, the stress of the trying to make sure that you get the breath through the nose, that the nostril that's resistant, and it's sometimes pretty hard to get it going. That will help you get the oxygen to the brain at night, and practicing it will help you make it easier for you. You may not have to struggle as much as I did that night that I started to had to go through 20 of the inspirations and expirations. The third kind of breathing, which can help everyone get to a better meditative state, is called relaxation breathing. And the point of this kind of breathing is each time you're going to take 2 breaths in, but then for each consecutive breath out, you're going to increase the count of you're going to be counting in seconds to make your exhale longer each time. So what does this do? This helps get out the carbon dioxide in case your lungs are storing the carbon dioxide because you're breathing shallowly. It's also going to then allow more oxygen in the brain, but it also lowers your stress in your body and allows you to relax. So here we go. We're going to do 2 and 2. 2 breaths in, and then we're counting to 2 and 2 out, and then 2 and 3, and then 2 and 4, and 2 and 5. So, on 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 2 and 4. 2, 3, 4. And 2 and 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. I hope you felt that relaxing setting in. It's a progressive feeling of kind of letting go. So relaxation breathing, that was the third kind of breathing. This next breathing really helps to solve that problem of atelectasis or shallow breathing, and it also stimulates the circulation in your abdomen. And that's what's missing with atelectasis. You're lessening the amount of capacity in your lungs, which leads to longer life, and you're also not getting the circulation in your belly. So the point of this is, think of your nose. Do you remember, have you ever seen how a rabbit's nose kind of goes like this? That's going to be your objective here. It's kind of funny. That's called huff-puff breathing in traditional Chinese medicine. So what you do is both when you're inhaling and when you're exhaling, you're going to do the little rabbit nose thing. So that stimulates the lower jaw. It also helps to control your breathing and capacity in the lungs. So now that you have these tools, practice, 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 I invite you to get a calmer mind, a sense of control, and significantly expand your lung capacity so that you can have peak performance, longevity of life, and better endurance. Thank you for joining me, and if you want more information, please refer to the website. I'd love to see you there.